Hello, everybody, and today we're going to read out first page of John Locke, two treatises of government, and he was the one who defended the individual rights, life, liberty. He was the one who was responsible for the American Revolution. Book one, an essay concerning certain false principles. You know, chapter one, on slavery and natural liberty. This is a heading, and I'm going to read out the first page. That time they used to number one. Slavery is so vile, evil, and miserable an estate of man. Estate means the kind of life, and so directly opposite to the generous temper and courage of our nation that it is hardly to be conceived that an Englishman, much less a gentleman, should plead for it. We don't have to fight for it. Plead for it. Ask that you should not have slavery. And truly, I should have, and truly, I should have taken Sir Robert Filmer's Patriarcha, its name of the book, as any other treatise which would persuade all men that they are slaves, and ought to be so for such another exercise of wit as was his who writ the encomium of Nero, rather than for a serious discourse meant in earnest, had not the gravity of the title and epistle, the picture in the front of the book, and the applause that followed it, required me to believe that the author and publisher were both in earnest. It's a long sentence. Now see how I'll break it. And truly, I should have taken Sir Robert Filmer's, the name of the book, Patriarcha, as any other treatise, which would persuade all men, as any other treatise, which is a stupid treatise, stupid book, which would persuade all men that they are slaves. That book is telling that they are slaves, and ought to be so for such another exercise of wit, or as was his who writ the encomium of Nero, who wrote the Nero, the evil king, rather than, you know, he didn't want to seriously discuss that stupid book, rather than for a serious discourse meant in earnest, sincerity, had not the gravity of the title and epistle, there was no seriousness in the title, the picture in the front of the book, and the applause that followed it, and there was an applause after that, required me to believe that the author and publisher were both in earnest. So he's telling in a slightly funny way that they were serious about this book. The sentence is long, but all he's saying is they were serious about the book, that everybody should be slaves, so I have to write about it. Beautiful. I therefore took it into my hands, right? I therefore took it into my hands with all the expectation and read it through with all the attention due to a treatise that made such a noise at its coming abroad, and cannot but confess myself mightily surprised that in a book which was to provide chains for all mankind, I should find nothing but a rope of sand, useful perhaps to such whose skill and business it is to raise a dust, and would blind the people, the better to mislead them. I was surprised. Nothing was there in the book, he's saying. Like a sand, very beautifully written actually. And would blind the people, the better to mislead them. But in truth, not of any force. But in truth, not of any force to draw those into bondage who have their eyes open. You cannot draw people into bondage whose eyes are open. That book was failed me. And so much sense about them who have their eyes open, and so much sense about them as to consider that chains are but an ill wearing. Ill, it's wrong. How much care soever hath been taken to file and publish them. No matter how much care was taken to file and publish them. How true this is. Today we have all nonsense people talk, and he is saying, I don't have to convince people. Very beautiful first sentence. And as you go on reading, it becomes clearer and clearer. The great reason of John Locke created a nation, a powerful nation, rich as thriving. In fact, I personally believe that if John Locke is read and understood by the mankind, slowly understood by practice, theory, everything, but experimental things which happen in the world will come to wonderful peace, really. There's a greatness in this. And somewhere we know it also. Do you want to be like a slave? That's all he's saying. Thank you. You can reread it again. This is just to introduce you. Thank you.